Yeah, there was a joke, but I don't remember what it was. Because
Mm.
I remember the joke I said afterwards.
It was like Martin Scorsese or something?
No, it was something
Or
like
Jerry Lewis?
that's no cactus, that's my mother type thing.
Yeah, like the... Oh, it was like a Taxi Driver thing? I don't remember. I haven't seen Taxi Driver, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know, dude. Hey, welcome back to the Movie Shelf podcast. I'm Cody Metcalf. I'm here today with my friend Michael McCurley.
What's up?
Hey, we just watched a movie.
Yeah.
We literally just watched it. So in the last episode, we had watched the movie a few days before we recorded the podcast. But we just watched it. We'll get into it later. But before we do that, I kind of want to talk about you. I want to let people know who you are. I know you. We've been friends for several years now.
At least a couple days or so.
Yeah, just a couple weeks. We met each other on Bumble or whatever.
Yeah, no, I met you at a 7-Eleven buying you a slushy.
Yeah. And bought one of my Beat CDs.
Yeah. Who's this CD Mike guy?
Sorry, I'm messing with these headphones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't really want to know about you. I want to know about the movies you like.
Yeah, because screw me.
Yeah, because the only thing that matters here is movies.
Yeah, I don't matter. In the realm of movies, I'm not featuring in any, and I'm not making any, so it doesn't matter.
So, I'm just taking this one out. It's annoying.
Okay.
First, okay, so let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What movie or show are you currently watching? And, or if that's, if you're not currently watching anything, what's something you've seen recently that you really enjoyed that you just would like to talk about?
Well, movies I've seen recently I think Nope was the most recent thing that I watched.
It was a good movie.
Shows that I recently, watched. I don't necessarily want to talk about it too much because I don't know that much about it anymore. But I recently picked Young Justice back up because they've got 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, okay.
And kind of decided to pick that back up. But show that I just finished watching a season of, Better Call Saul.
Yeah,
Season
baby.
5, not 6, because
Yeah.
I didn't get on the bandwagon quick enough.
So,
And able to watch it on AMC Plus, which by the way, AMC Plus is a scam.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Because I've been trying to cancel, right? And it runs through Apple. It runs through the Apple Store. And I tried to cancel it, right? And it said cancel. I was like, okay, yes, because I did free trial. I was like, I just want to watch Better Call Saul season 6. And I learned way too late that they're like, no, here's episode 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
I was like, where's the rest? And they're like, you ain't got to wait.
You got to pay for it.
You got to pay. Wait later.
You got to pay a lot of money for those.
You got to. Well, they're going to have to give me more than that. But I was like, I want to see from the first, I was not going to pirate them because that's illegal. But I wanted, I wanted to watch them. And I was like, all right, I'll download it. Free trial.
Yeah.
Not there. So I was like, cool. Let's see what else they have. They have Hell on Wheels, which is on Netflix. They have The Walking Dead, which is on Netflix. They have Mad Men, which is on Netflix. Then they had a original horror spinoff of a spinoff. I don't know if you've heard of this. Fear the Walking Dead has a spinoff of its own. Fear the Walking Dead, Dead in the Water. I kid you not, that's the name of the...
Is it called Ghost Ship? Is it like a cruise ship?
It's a submarine, so it's even cooler because it's zombie submarines.
Dude, I will say that The Walking Dead is one of those shows...
Has been going on too...
It's one of those shows that didn't know when to stop.
No.
I think it's still...
Rag! Just freaking...
I think it's on its final season.
It's done. It's wrapped up. It's done.
Oh, it's done?
Yeah.
Well, thank God.
No. You can thank him later because we've got 4 more spinoffs, and one has Terry Crews. One has Terry Crews in one episode because it's an anthology series, dude. It's an anthology series, bro. Now listen. They've got The Walking Dead. They've got Fear the Walking Dead, which I watched. This is not where
I thought this.
Yeah, this is going differently, but I'm enjoying crapping over it because it's just.
No, I'm down to do that.
Okay, so Walking Dead.
Okay.
I never finished it. I got to like season 8.
Oh yeah, no, I never did either. I stopped after.
Which, spoiler warnings if you have it. Whatever.
You're not gonna care.
You're not going to care.
I stopped watching after Glenn.
I was going to say a different character, but it's season 8, so it's further in. Can I?
Go for it. I don't care.
Carl dies.
Dude, what?
Don't look at me like that.
Carl dies, dude?
Carl dies. Carl! And then I never saw Rick's like final.
Well, he comes back. Apparently, I didn't watch. I didn't watch it.
I didn't watch it either.
I saw
we can speculate all day.
I saw an Instagram post or something.
I was like, oh, he's back.
It was like he's back.
Hey, it's Return of the King all over again, except it's AMC and it's weekly, and nobody watches.
And nobody cares
because it's been going on for too long.
Yeah.
So
that show's been going on since I was in like junior high.
I remember one of the first. This is gonna sound hilarious and edgy. One of the first Hot Topic purchases I ever made was a Fight the Dead, Fear the Living one, which back in but back in zippy mouth. But back in high school, like early high school, I was like, Fight the Dead, Fear the Living. That was cool because I watched season 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to shake your hand. But I was like, that's cool. So I bought it. It's a black beanie just with that lettering, and that's it. And I actually had it up until a week or two ago. Or no, not a week or two. Like a year or two, I mean. Sorry.
I was about to say.
No.
I've never,
Nah. But
if you ever got into my car with that hat on, I would have respectfully asked you to take it off.
You just would have gone...
I got it out of my own car.
Hey, it's too bad we don't have lapel mics. You'd be like, no, I'm done. You probably would have stuck it to your beanie.
That's enough Walking Dead talk.
Yeah, that is. Okay, let's talk about Better Call Saul. Like what we've seen of it.
Okay, well, I don't want to talk too much on it because that one I genuinely like. If you have not watched it, seek it out. Like, watch it. It's so good.
Season 5, not 6. Don't.
All of it.
Don't. Well, yeah, but don't talk about season 6 because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't watched season 6 yet. I also just finished season 5, and I don't want to say it was my favorite season, but it might be. It's on par.
It's establishing more and more why I honestly, and I need to go back and rewatch both shows after I season 6
do a full with El Camino.
Camino because I want to see it like from absolute beginning to absolute end and just see how it feels. And I also need to do that so I can stop telling people that I like Better Call Saul better than Breaking Bad just because it's like more fresh in my mind. Like, But
no,
genuinely,
I'm in the camp of I think I like Better Call Saul more than Breaking Bad, only because Better Call Saul,
it's got longer payoffs.
It does something different that Breaking Bad doesn't do, and I can't pinpoint it.
I think it's genuinely like, because with Walter White's character, the whole idea is like seeing a guy who's never done anything wrong in his life besides like, I might have lusted after a girl when I was in high school or something. Like, just your regular run of the mill
just like
sort of
typical.
Just hasn't done anything bad, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm gonna start breaking the law.
Yeah, I'm gonna become a kingpin,
and then I'm gonna become a completely different person, and it's a character shift the whole time.
Yeah.
Better Call Saul's character shift is so many more layers because you've got
and it's much more subtle.
Yeah, because you've got the whole like Slip and Jimmy, and they have all of the like backstory of like, oh, little Jimmy this and taking money out of the register and stuff,
and the whole dynamic with his brother.
That whole thing is a roller coaster.
That whole arch of the stuff with
arch.
What did I say?
Arc. Well, you said
arch. Story arc.
Arch. It's not a back, and it's not an arch enemy. So
sorry. Arc. Sorry. That whole story arc with him and his brother.
Yeah.
Gets so much more intense than
because it's okay. So like, I don't understand how Vince Gilligan does it, but he'll take something like a fly buzzing around a room, and he'll make you sit there and go, "When's it gonna end?"
Yeah. I will say one of the best working. And I hope he continues to make things.
Mm-hmm.
So let's circle back a little bit. Let's talk about Nope for a second. I really loved it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was awesome.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah. No, obviously I want to talk about it a little bit. I mean, obviously I'm not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, I think since that one's a little more new and a little more fresh, maybe we should.
Yeah, we'll keep it very vague. I'm just going to talk about like my reaction to it as a film.
Okay.
As a movie.
As a movie.
As a Morbius movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
Morbing.
Nope, to me, did like a weird, like, I didn't know I wanted it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know I was itching that badly for like a sci-fi movie.
Like a spectacle of a movie.
Yeah,
Like that.
like, because I was, I tried to avoid as many trailers as possible because,
I watched. I'm not gonna lie. I watched every single trailer. I didn't watch all the clips in the TV spots because once movies start getting into that territory, I get annoyed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you're just showing off the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
I tried to avoid that, and also just like Jordan Peele movies, to me, after Get Out, how much of a surprise Get Out was, and how surprising Us was as well.
I still haven't seen Us. I need to.
It's a good one.
And here's how
How
it
surprising
ends.
both of those were. I really wanted to go into Nope like as blind as possible, just so I like could experience it full. Like I watched a few. Dude, I don't know why I'm yawning so much.
It's because of the mood lighting.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy. Talking about aliens.
Sleepy, yeah. Go to sleep. Just don't look up.
Don't look up, dude. What a horrible movie. Anyways,
Whoa, that's a hot take for another episode. What?
Is it that hot of a take that Don't Look Up isn't a good movie?
I haven't seen it. But I'm okay. I'm gonna say this.
Be careful.
I didn't watch it because I've gotten to a point in my friendship with you where 90-ish% of the time we have very similar opinions on, especially movies like that, where it's a very like cut and dry. Because I told you to explain it to me without completely spoiling it, like enough to where I could get the general like what's the movie.
Well, here's I didn't even. I'm crying. I didn't even finish it. I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, you were telling me how like it's just depressing.
The fact that it was nominated for an editing Oscar.
Editing Oscar?
I'm pretty sure. Check the facts.
Run the footage.
Yeah, an editing Oscar.
That doesn't. I mean, like
it makes no sense. It's
maybe the scene with Jonah Hill slamming the door.
That part was funny. Jonah Hill slamming that door was funny, but
that's not enough to get it.
It's not enough to get an editing Oscar.
Jonah Hill's like, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I'm gonna get an Oscar for it actually.
Yeah.
The
anyways,
best door slam in the history of cinema. Standing ovation.
And I don't want to give too much away with Nope. All I'll say is that I really liked it. It was much more of a sci-fi flick than a horror flick, and I loved that. I loved that he went like full sci-fi because I haven't seen a movie like that in a while. It felt like a huge Hollywood like blockbuster that was good. Like we haven't had something like that in a while.
Because it was a big Hollywood blockbuster that didn't make me, once I started getting into it, go, oh, I should turn my brain off.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it keeps you.
You've been outspoken about no to Fast and Furious. I get that.
It's not no. It's just that
it's
I like Fast
kind
5.
Of a bore. Yeah, Fast 5 was good.
And I like Tokyo Drift.
Actually,
teach me how to drift. Teach me how to drift. The Stone Cold.
Hell yeah. I tried not to, but it's probably not even that good of a teach me how to drift. Grab that cooler at Keystone. What? What? You drink Miller High Life, but you won't take the high road. Come on, Dom. No, but like the way that you go in a Fast and Furious movie, you go, Oh, there's spectacle, but it's also just like
It's
you
like
you can,
schlocky.
You can. There's a little like button behind your right ear temple where you go ew, and you go because it's a fun movie, but it's not like you're going.
Listen, I'll say this.
Oh wow, this really is perplexing.
Hobbs
me.
and Shaw.
How did they get cars into space?
Hobbs and Shaw is a horrible movie, but
but it's so much
so
fun. Dude, that's probably my favorite. I tried to convince somebody. I was like, listen, I know, and they're like, there's too many Fast and Furious. I know. But I was like, Hobbs and Shaw just takes all of that pent up, like, oh, they're really going to do that. And they just go, yep.
yeah, take it all the way.
And it's go,
perfect.
And
Hobbs and Shaw is a perfect movie. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah. Jason Statham is a perfect actor.
Yeah.
I was friends with The Rock Johnson.
Okay, still on the topic of getting to know you. We are 20 minutes in and we're still getting to know you. We haven't even started talking about this movie.
No.
Just so the people at home can kind of pinpoint who you are as a person. What movie would you consider to be like your happy place movie?
Happy
the movie
place
you
movie.
throw on, when you need to feel a little comfort,
I've talked to you about this a lot, but The Big Lebowski.
Oh
100%.
yeah. Great movie.
Great movie. Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
Masterpiece.
Absolutely.
Jeff Bridges in his prime. Jeff Bridges back when he could have been a heartthrob. Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
He wore shorts and a robe the whole time, but
Oh yeah, that's all I needed.
he made it look good.
I've never had another movie make me want a milk-based alcoholic beverage more than.
That's exactly what I did. That was one of my first drinks ever. Was
a White Russian.
Well, literally. So I've told you about this story. I'm not gonna get into the whole thing, but like Nathan, one of our friends, Nathan, it was a traditional thing for the dorm that I was in college because they had like traditional stuff. So they were like, he was like, my first night, my dorm leader took me out to this bar. And he said, I'm going to buy you a shot and a drink for your birthday and then, go crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to go crazy. And he's like, cool. And he's like, well, you either get a shot of Fireball or vodka. And I was like, which one tastes better? I was looking at Tanner asking this question. I was like, which one tastes better? And he goes, vodka. And I was like, you sure? And Nathan goes, he's in the front seat and he goes, whoa.
He goes, drives off a ditch.
Tori was actually drunk as shit. Anyways. Turns around and goes, whoa, absolutely not. And he goes, do you like flavor? And I was like, yeah. and he's like, well, do you like jet fuel? And I was like, not particularly. And he goes,
like flavor?
You want Fireball. And so, but yeah, that was my first shot. My first drink was an AMF, which is still one of the great. I mean, it's dangerous, but it's so good. And they actually, they made it, because it was Retropub, they made it a flux capacitor.
Oh.
So it's an AMF with a spin. They throw something in there that's different. I think they just throw more blue liqueurs in there, like Syracuse and other stuff. I don't know how you pronounce it. But anyways, all that to say...
Mixology lesson.
Mixology. Yeah, I don't know how to do mixology. But so that was the drink. And then after that, they were like, is there any other drink you want to try? And I was like, you guys make White Russians? And like, we do this other thing called like movie reference. We make the thing called the 80s movie reference. And I was like, cool. And so they basically, because a regular White Russian is, as far as I know, it's like vodka mixed with just like heavy whipping cream.
Yeah.
And like something like some sweetener of some kind, but it's a very bitter drink and it doesn't like make you go, this tastes great. It's, if you like vodka, you'll like it. They use like vanilla creamer. So it tasted vanilla-y and I was like, oh. But yeah, no, Big Lebowski, man, was like my first exposure to the Coen Brothers.
It's a good one to get. It's a good first dose.
And that was because I was a summer intern and stumbled across that movie on one of the days that was like a free day, and everybody else was out doing stuff. Didn't invite poor little me, so I was just in a dorm, which by that I mean a gym locker room that had bunks in it. And the fire department was called numerous times, but it's fine. So I was in there, and there's a big flat screen with like Blu-rays scattered on the ground. I mean, like it's a horror scene. It's just overturned DVD boxes, and there's like a physical Blu-ray just laying on concrete. And I was like, ugh. But they had the Big Lebowski. And I was like, I've always heard like so and so talk about it. I put it in. I watched it. I fell in love with it.
Change your life.
Changed my life.
I think my first Coen Brothers.
Do you know what happens? Do you see what happened?
Yeah. When you find a stranger in the Alps.
When when you find a stranger in the Alps.
My first Coen Brothers was either Fargo, but I don't think it was Fargo. It was either Fargo or No Country for Old Men. But I think it was Fargo.
No Country for Old Men was good. I saw that one with you. I remember that.
Oh, yeah, we did watch that together. It's a great movie.
It was, dude, whole nother episode about just the ending.
Yeah.
Just the ending.
Okay, we gotta get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
The last question I'll ask you is...
I keep hitting the mic.
No, you're fine. The last question I'll ask you is, if you had all the money in the world or whatever, and you could pay top dollar to go back and watch any movie again and experience it in theater for the first time again, what movie are you picking?
I'm going to change my answer from before we started filming.
Okay.
Probably Infinity War Endgame. Or if I could, back to back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fair answer.
Well, because, like, I mean, obviously, I'm a Marvel nerd.
I will say that out of those two movies, the theater experience for Infinity War was better for me than Endgame. I could get into my Endgame.
You could do that as a behind the scenes like extra episode.
Yeah, I'll tell that. I'll tell that story eventually. I'll tell my Endgame movie going
Anybody
experience.
in the mood for a hot dog? Got a ballpark Frank up here.
We got a Nathan's Frank hot dog up here.
Oh, we got 24. We're just waiting to be opened.
I would pick Infinity War over Endgame.
Yeah. Now
just for the ending alone and everyone.
Oh my
just
god,
collective
dude.
gasps of like, no.
Yeah, and
no,
then
no.
the audible like in the back.
Everyone weeping. Just.
I went and saw that with one of my friends in theaters, like opening. I think it was opening night.
I think I went.
If it wasn't, it was opening day.
Yeah.
And, dude, I sat up in my chair when the credits started rolling, and I was like. And yeah. I just couldn't find the words. And I looked over at my friend and I was like, I just didn't know what to say. And like, as much as I think I have to agree with most people, including you, like Infinity War's experience was so jaw dropping. Because the MCU up until that point, all the Marvel movies were like cookie cutter. They were still great, but it was just like you knew at the end
they were following a formula.
Good guys are gonna win, and then this one was like,
I know you thought.
No, he's gonna smile on that planet just like he said, bro. When he started getting more stones, then because like obviously the trailers are edited, but when he like in the first 15 minutes had 3, I was like, oh,
hey, slow down, buddy. Hey, you don't need all those stones now.
Pump the brakes.
Oh, chill, Thanos.
What's going on over there?
Thanos collecting stones?
He's got a reality ring now? Oh. He's got the 10 rings too?
Yeah, better not be snapping anytime soon.
Oh, he snapped. And it was right when, dude, because he's got an axe in his chest. I was like, yeah.
He's done for.
Like, you're cheering for the movie. And then he's like, nah. And the whole, the spirit run, the soul gem stuff. I still hate that they cut out the Endgame one with Tony, like, meeting his older daughter. I thought that would have been such a, I get it. The movie's already 3 hours long. But, like,
give me a 4-hour movie.
And give me, honestly, yeah. Zack Snyder can have a 4-hour movie.
Exactly. Zack Snyder bots can get Zack Snyder to make a 4-hour movie.
Yeah. Well, Discovery doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. Or Warner Bros. Discovering.
That's a whole nother episode.
Discovering how to make a universe. That's what she.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's get in. We're like 30 minutes in, so let's finally talk about what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is a movie that we just watched.
Yeah.
That neither of us have seen. Called The King of Comedy. Martin Scorsese's The King of Comedy.
It's a classic.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, I mean, well, I've always heard about it as being classic, even from like an early. Well, I say an early age, early movie going. Like once I
Yeah.
started really getting
Once
into
you
movies.
want, yeah, it's one of those movies you hear about, like when you start, maybe as just like a casual moviegoer, you may not know about it, but once you start getting into film and you hear about Martin Scorsese, and then you start hearing about his movies, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll see everything else, almost everything else he's done before you get to this one. Like
Yeah.
you'll see Goodfellas, you'll see Raging Bull, you'll see Silence, even like you'll see
Silence. Ooh.
You'll see Wolf of Wall Street probably before you get to this one.
He did Departed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll see.
I think that's the first one of his that I saw, to be honest.
I don't know what my first Scorsese was.
No. Wait a minute.
Mine either had to be Taxi Driver or it was either Taxi Driver or Goodfellas. One of those two.
I've actually never seen Goodfellas, and I feel bad that I've never. I know, but I haven't seen Taxi Driver either. I'm trying to work my way
that's
through
the thing.
them.
Scorsese is one of those directors that everyone talks about and loves, and he makes great movies.
Mm-hmm.
I have never taken like the full dive into his filmography
Because
I've watched.
It's thick.
It's
a lot of movies.
It's a thick filmography.
Thick filmography.
But like, I own it, but I haven't seen Casino.
Casino. Which one is?
Joe Pesci.
So is that one of the older ones that he did?
Yeah, it's up there. It's under Collateral and Clerks.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's right there.
I've been needing to watch it, but it's long. It's a long movie.
Yeah.
Scorsese loves him a good long film. This one, however,
The Irishman. We're just talking about the long movies.
but this one, King of Comedy, was actually very short. It's like an hour and 40 minutes.
It was really that short?
It was short.
Dude, that movie felt like, I mean, like, I don't mean it in a bad way, but it felt like it just kept going. And I was like,
because I will say the ending. Well, one for me, I didn't know how it was going to end.
no. And I love that because there's so many movies nowadays where, like,
It's pretty predictable, but this one kept you on your toes. You're like
the whole time.
and the way I will say the genius thing that they did, like in the writing aspect of this, is that the way they kept you on your toes was by keeping all the characters on their toes, guessing like
what's going on.
like you have the police guy who's like, well, here's the game plan, and then the producer of the show being like, here's the game plan, and then the investors in the show are like, no, here's the game plan, and then like Robert De Niro being like, well, here's my game plan. Like there's all these different game plans.
I'll wait.
He's
I
like,
can wait.
Oh, I'm fine with waiting.
I'm fine with waiting. Don't worry.
I'm fine with waiting.
That's the one takeaway is that Robert De Niro.
He's fine with
He's
waiting.
fine with waiting.
But
And specifically,
he's fine with. I'm fine with waiting.
I'm fine with waiting.
I
I don't have a briefcase or a sick suit with
Dude,
that. He was
every
clean.
suit,
and every single. I feel like
mad
there's-
drip, dude.
I feel like there's deeper meaning to how like he kept the same for the whole movie except for like the ending. Kept the same suit
yeah.
and he swapped the colors out.
He busted out his Heinz Ward. You know,
What's it? Is it the,
just his finest. Just his
oh, okay.
finest.
I thought that was like a specific brand, and I'm just I'm too poor to understand that.
No, yeah. We'll get to the ending. I want to kind of talk
That'll
about.
be heavy spoiler territory.
I want to talk about a little bit.
You put like spoiler warnings like at the beginning of the video, anyways.
Yeah, I'll talk. Yeah,
I mean,
spoilers.
Well, it's a deep dive discussion.
Yeah, deep dive discussion.
It's implied.
So, again, back on like the Martin Scorsese stuff, is that this is one that I've always heard about. I've heard great things about it, and I just never took the time or really had a way to watch it. I don't think it was streaming on anything. We watched it from a DVD copy that I picked up from our local library.
Yeah. It's crazy that it's in that good of a condition. Like the case and everything was in that good of a condition.
But I'm very glad that we watched it because there's a lot of times where like movies like this, like more like classic movies, get hyped up throughout the years and then become like, oh, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. It's one of the whatever. And then you finally watch it and you're like, like, yeah, it was good, but like, is it the greatest movie of all time?
Like The Joker.
Is it?
I'm just kidding. I mean,
we'll get into that later too.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of, I mean, obviously there's a lot of parallels.
And
if I'd seen Taxi Driver, I could also.
Well, even whenever I saw Joker, we'll get into this later. Sorry.
Yeah. Cut it out.
this was one of those movies that I watched even after all the hype, and am still like, yeah, no, they were right. Like,
Yeah.
this is a genuinely good movie. This is a great movie.
I said it as soon as the credits started rolling, and like,
We both were like, that was great.
yeah,
We were
I was like,
great
that's
movie.
great. And then I immediately was like, I see number one, what all the hype was about. And I can see number two, goodness, there's so many movies that have taken blueprints
Yeah.
from this movie.
Yeah.
And not just
Down to the characters.
Not even just the overarching, like, but like every detail about it.
Yeah.
Like
The cinematography, the music.
the tension building.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese's he's the master of building tension.
Yeah, that
In situations that
no,
don't feel like
even,
they
it's
would.
not even like the tension that like is
It's not
palpable.
regular tension.
It's that awkward, just like angry.
It's like you know how you've got like in like sound, you've got
Yeah.
the frequency range of like what you can hear, and then below a certain threshold you can just feel sounds. You can't hear them. He's like the sub frequency.
He's in the
of
field.
because you can sit there in your chair and go.
Yeah, you start rubbing the back of your knees. You're like,
No, literally, there was. I mean, you looked over and saw me, but I was sitting there during like way towards the end, like everything's just
when he's like
kind
in the
hitting
lobby
fan.
of the.
I'm just sitting there like.
Yeah, you get uncomfy. You get
yeah.
uncomfy. And then, I do want to take a second to just talk about Robert De Niro for a second, because I think our generation specifically, a lot of people who aren't like film lovers, who know Robert De Niro, know him from his like, as he's been an older man and been in like more recent stuff.
Yeah, like The Intern with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, The Intern with Anne Hathaway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dirty
all the,
Grandpa.
all the Fokker movies.
Yeah, exactly. All that stuff.
They know him as like the like hard hard to the core like grandpa
type of
I
character.
don't like him. I don't think he should be a part of the family.
Yeah,
like that guy.
Exactly.
They don't know the
yeah.
great actor that he is.
Exactly. They don't know the chops that he actually has and can pull off.
They'll go and compare him to like, it's like freaking, he's picking up checks. He's like Bruce Willis or someone.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Now and I'll say like in comparison to like Raging Bull, because Raging Bull I think was his first.
that he worked on.
Yeah, I think so. I could be 100% wrong on that. But I know it was before this one. And even like Taxi Driver, dude, like all of those early Scorsese, Robert De Niro movies, Robert De Niro just found a lane and he crushed it. And he like knows how to, and the thing is, as similar as Taxi Driver in this feel in terms of like setting and style, the subject matter is completely different and the main characters are completely different people.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like, I don't know how to explain it other than that.
They are in the same vein,
But completely different bodies. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't, it's so weird. And Robert De Niro,
it's like two people with the same blood type.
Exactly.
But that's where the similarities
it
stop.
didn't, here's what I'll say. It didn't feel like Robert De Niro. It felt like,
It felt like someone
Rupert,
else.
what was his name?
Pumpkin.
Pupkin.
Yeah, because everybody kept calling him Robert Pumpkin.
Robert Pumpkin.
We've got a Mr. Robert Pumpkin here. Dinner for one. The amount of times that I thought he was hallucinating in that movie.
We can get into the, yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know if we should save that discussion for. Let's talk about Joker real quick.
Yeah. Soft open.
So
Joker.
when I initially saw Joker, I liked it the first time I watched it.
And then you're like, wait, this is a DC movie. Get out!
Get the side. I liked it in theaters, but I did leave going like, that felt like Taxi Driver. Like I was like, that felt a lot like Taxi Driver. Like it had that feel.
It's a good thing I hadn't
But
seen
I was
Taxi
like,
Driver.
it just took inspiration or whatever. But then I would hear people talk about it, and they're like, oh, it took a lot of inspiration from King of Comedy and Taxi Driver. It took a lot of inspiration just from early Scorsese.
And early Robert De Niro, who's also in the movie.
Exactly. I couldn't stop thinking about how
You
he
either
is,
die a
like-
hero or you live long enough to
like
see yourself.
I was
become
like,
the villain.
why didn't they even like the talk show that he hosts in Joker does not be called like the Robert or the
It would have
Rupert
been
show or
crazy
whatever
to try and
to
connect
tie it
those.
in.
Yeah, and then also like Joker gets a taxi at the end of the movie and he goes, "Where do you want to go?"
He's like, "Take me to 3rd and 15th," and then it turns around. You talking to me?
You talking to me?
You talking to me? And everyone's like, "What?"
He's like, he takes his hat off slowly. You see a mohawk. You're like, what?
My favorite DC character, Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, Martin Scorsese was in this movie.
Yeah.
I feel like I already said that. I did.
Yeah, and he looked beautiful. What a beautiful man.
Because we sat there and we're like, that looks like Martin Scorsese. And I was like, no. That's like way too young of a guy.
Oh, he was just young with me.
You got your makeup. Like he started
And then
talking,
they called
and I was
him the director. They were like,
Yeah.
"You're the director." And I was like, Martin Scorsese. Pretentious
he
little
loved to
douche.
pat himself on the back.
Yeah. But yes, now, to me, Joker doesn't have a ton of rewatchability. After you see it the first time, I don't think multiple viewings do it any better.
I feel like you have to space it out.
I did, though.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I mean, like it's not everybody's movie.
Yeah.
I saw it in theaters once, and then like, it was. I mean, like I left. Like me personally, I left the theater. I was like going, that was fantastic. Like,
I liked it.
Me personally, I'd give that a 9.5 out of 10. Like I know
we'll go
you
that
wouldn't.
far.
I know you wouldn't. It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, we agree on
Most things.
most things. But this one, I literally, because I remember talking to you about it, and you were like,
Do you think that opinion would be different if you saw Taxi Driver first?
I mean, it could. I'd have to see Taxi Driver in general. Because here's the thing.
Sure.
I heard that about King of Comedy and Taxi Driver. I've seen King of Comedy. I now know that.
Let's hear what you like.
The similarities and stuff.
Not even the similarities, but like the obvious inspiration that was pulled for the Joker stuff.
The obvious inspiration was definitely
The character, for sure. Like his
I mean,
mannerisms and his.
It felt kind of verbatim. But
The whole scene in the beginning where he's playing in his head, like he's playing the lunch scene in his head, where he's having lunch with the talk show guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole thing felt like, I was like, oh, Todd Phillips just ripped that one.
I mean, yeah, you could say that it felt very, I like to see it as like he took heavy inspiration from it because maybe Todd Phillips saw that movie and said, that feels like
the Joker.
It feels like the Joker.
And I could totally, I get that.
But
here's the difference in these two that I wasn't expecting, because I also was watching this with the glasses of like looking for
the similarities.
the Joker influences, or the influences that the things that influence the Joker.
Yeah.
And one of the things was that he's funny. Like I wasn't expecting him to be funny.
Dude, the part where I'm gonna go ahead and talk about spoil stuff. So the part at the end of the movie where he actually gives, because the whole movie, I love this.
Yeah.
The whole movie, he keeps talking about his monologue over and over. He's like, yeah, my monologue. I've been
And they'll
working
even
on my
like
jokes, blah, blah.
they'll lead up to it and then they'll cut it right before he
My
starts saying
favorite
it.
I think honestly, my favorite scene has to be at least top 3 scenes in this movie is when he starts, like they show him recording.
Yeah.
And he's Ma. But like it shows him, and then you hear him start to do it, and then like you start hearing a laugh track, and I was like,
and it just builds and builds.
But then it keeps building, and I'm sitting there going, wait, I can't hear what he's saying. I mean, and then it shows him in this
room with that mural.
And it's a wall of people. And I've seen this scene 100 times.
Yeah.
Like not the actual entire scene, but I've seen that clip played 100 times from people being like, top 10 greatest movies above. Like I've seen that, but I didn't know the context.
Yeah.
And seeing it now, it's like incredible because it's like they keep dangling in front of you, and like their whole point of like his character is he's so desperate to get the limelight, and he's so desperate, and so through the desperation you're like, he just doesn't have it.
No,
there's no way he has it.
Yeah, there's no way he's got it, and then he has it,
and then he does.
But then that's
the
the switch is that he does so good,
and that's one of the greatest switches I think I've seen.
I was
in a
waiting
movie.
for the Joker, like Isn't that good?
You get what you deserve.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that.
I was waiting for the.
And it didn't
He
happen.
shoots something up. I was waiting for
every
the crickets in the audience.
every like 5 minutes in the movie, we're like, yeah, he's gonna go
He's
shoot
gonna
that place
shoot.
up.
He's gonna go shoot
Because
that guy.
he would sit in that office. He's like, I'll wait. I can wait.
I was
And
like,
I'm
oh, he's
"We
gonna
need you to
blow
leave."
up this
And
office.
he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, he's gonna hand the tape. And
Yeah. But then when the other genius thing was I was expecting them to do the full monologue when he goes on the show, but then they cut it again.
And I was like,
oh, I guess we're never gonna
dog.
hear it.
I was like, if we never hear it, like,
I'm gonna be pissed.
I was like, cool story, like, piece, but also I want to hear. Do
Yeah.
I have to go deep dive on Google to find it?
Yeah, and then
Because you know
Goes
they
to the
wrote the
bar.
script for it.
he goes because I was wondering too what they were gonna do with this girl, the girl that he keeps trying to impress.
We'll talk about the similarities with the Joker girl in a second, because
Yeah,
practically the same.
practically Zazie Beetz.
Practically the exact same love interest. I can't do the full thing because it's bad. Zazie Beetz.
Zazie Beetz and practically.
Was that Zazie Beetz' mother or something? I see this similarity.
Was that Mama Beetz?
It's a good thing we're sitting at 69 subscribers, so this doesn't get sent out into the internet.
Oh,
and
gosh.
You get contacted by her
Mama
publishers.
Beetz.
She's like, "Hey, that's not
She's
cool.
like, "That's not
I
cool.
need you to
No."
remove this video." Mama Beetz.
What were we talking about?
We were talking
Oh, the
about
girl,
the
the girl.
girl, yeah. Because
Yeah, 'cause
she
I was
feels
wondering-
like just another, like, oh, here's a throwaway character of, like, and half of the stuff with her and him, I was like,
Is
he's
he dreaming this? But I don't think he was.
No. He wasn't, because the thing he was dreaming about was talking to his mother. And that was the biggest just kind of gut punch and then
Yeah.
run away. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, so can we talk about that for a second?
I literally was, I wanted
So
to look
hold on.
over and say something, but he's still in the middle of the monologue when he drops that bomb.
Of, like,
so I'm still
my
on
mom
edge.
died.
Yeah, 9 years ago. And so I'm still sitting there like,
So, okay, but to me, I took that. I was like, oh, he just made that up for the bit. But
if you look at his face though, like
that is a big. Yeah.
because you never see her.
You do never see
and you
her.
just hear, turn that down, you bubba. And the whole his whole basement room thing
Yeah.
is just one big fantasy. So it would be so easy to believe that his mom is just
A figment of his imagination. Dog.
Mommy Beats.
Mommy Beats.
She was a figment of his imagination all
Yeah.
along.
Dude, what a great movie. I'm upset that it took me so long to watch it, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm very glad that I got to have this experience with you of watching it for the first time, because that was a fantastic movie. And I want to watch more Scorsese movies. But our next one, let's watch another Scorsese.
Yeah, should we do I mean, I haven't seen Taxi Driver, you have.
We could do Casino.
Casino be good.
Next time you see a casino, well, hold on. Next time you see a casino,
Next time you see a
why don't you walk in, spend a
Man,
couple bucks?
just make sure it's January 6th when you walk in the casino. Just cut that out. I couldn't help it. Anyways. Casino.
Next time, whenever
Next
you see
time-
a thumbnail with the casino in it, Michael will be in it. 'Cause we'll watch Casino.
Yeah, and you should Photoshop me and you on the Mississippi Grind poster, but it's for casino. So you're rolling the dice, and I'm like, ooh, big money, big money, big money.
I'm Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, you're Ben Mendelsohn.
Perfect. That's
I was
all
about to
care
say,
about.
I mean, like, you could also be Ryan Reynolds, but I feel like you prefer to be Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, I did have a thought.
Mendelssohn?
Mendelsohn?
Ben
Mendelsohn.
Men Bendelsohn.
The name's Bendelsohn. Ben Mendelsohn.
Blend.
I do think though another movie that it's another DC movie.
Suicide Squad.
The Batman. The new Robbie
Yeah.
P's The Batman. I think
I need to
I
watch.
kept playing Ave Maria in my head during all of King of Comedy.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I was like when he's
I was
just sitting
waiting-
in the
Yeah, because we kept going, no.
yeah no yeah I mentioned the Riddler just like I'm fine with waiting.
I'm fine with waiting. I can wait all night long. Just do a whole bit about it. No, I was gonna say like, I want to watch, and there's another one that's bad that I haven't seen. I want to watch The Crow, the first one.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen it, but I remember hearing from a different podcast. I heard from a different podcast that the similarities between Robert Pattinson's Batman and The Crow are practically identical.
Yeah, there's a lot of homages and.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but this person was like, it's verbatim The Crow.
Oh.
And I was like,
yeah, I love that part in The Crow where the politician gets blown up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love the part in The Crow when the villain starts singing Ave Maria as the town explodes.
I think back to King of Comedy, there's one character where there's a few characters we're overlooking.
Mm-hmm.
The other girl, the one that
the creepy one,
the creepy girl, the bridge troll girl. That's what we kept calling her.
Yeah, that was pretty harsh, but also couldn't unsee that.
But here's the thing: maybe I didn't pick up on it, but I don't know their connection. Are they like con artists? Like, what is their thing?
I think their thing is that they're both just obsessed with him, and she's trying
They've just always been there.
They've just always been there because he's talking about what about that time that I gave you my limited edition book? That whole like yelling match in the street.
Yeah, the whole like celebrity signatures thing. They're both those like grifters.
I think in this, the way that they established with the opening shot is like almost trying to say that these people like they know each other, because there's a couple people like hey so and so, blah, blah, like they call him by name and everything.
Well, so was it the whole thing with her being in the car at the beginning, was that their plan all along to get him in the car with her?
Yeah, that was their plan.
I don't think I picked up on that.
He was going to save her.
Yeah.
Or save him from her, which, like I said, once I saw them like talking about it in later scenes, I was like, oh, this is definitely...
They're cahoots.
Well, no, I thought that it was him like imagining it or something.
Oh, like she wasn't real.
Well, because I think...
No, she was real because the whole end.
Yeah. No, it was real. I think me seeing Joker before this one made me...
Everything's fake.
Everything's fake.
He's in an asylum the whole time.
Dude, I swear, though, because there's that scene in the beginning. So probably not fully because I saw Joker, but because of that part where he's sitting down with Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
And they're having dinner. And then he's sitting there and they're talking. And I mean, it's a normal conversation. I was sitting there so confused. I was like...
I thought like time passed.
I thought they were like, we're seeing into the future. And then it cold cuts so hard to him in his basement talking to cutouts. And I was like, whoa. What's going on over there?
Yeah.
You talking to cutouts of Marilyn Monroe?
But back to Bridge Troll Girl.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of... I didn't like her at the beginning. I was like, get this Joker out of here.
Where's security? Get
out of here. It was Harley Quinn good. Get out of here.
Yeah, she just like starts laughing. And you're like,
cut it. Get her out of here.
She's like, but I used to be a doctor.
In the end, I was mad at her at the end with the whole like when she cut out Jerry Lewis.
She was such an idiot.
It's like, oh, you stupid, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, you wanted the people to just
but
don't
she,
get it.
As a performance though, she crushed it because monologue she pulls at the end is very impressive.
That whole ending just was so uncomfortable to sit through.
Very uncomfortable.
And like, not just because...
in like the best way possible.
Yeah.
The fact that she lit 800 candles in the apartment
just to do this whole...
set the mood.
Listen, I have a...
I legit was like, is the twist going to be that she's a vampire?
Or that she's going to...
She's going to start sucking his blood?
Yeah, she's just going to be like...
Yeah, take a chunk out of him.
Or she's going to knock the candle... Because she swipes a candle off into the floor, and we just act like they go out. I was like, the whole building's going to catch on fire, and you're going to have Jerry Lewis going...
Just taped up, just scooting the chair. I'm Jerry.
And she's just going to sit there continually singing to him, just... Happy birthday.
Dude, that whole song.
Oh, so... I was about to say...
Here's what that scene did to me. The scene where she starts singing, it transported me into a theater in 1980, whatever, when this movie came out. And I just felt everyone's uncomfort, like, in the theater, just like...
Just like,
she's singing, but she's not really in love.
I have a love-hate relationship with scenes like that make you that uncomfortable.
I love them.
Because
I love them so much. I love them.
I love the uncomfort.
But here, I love it. But also, it just gets down to the core of me of like, no.
Yeah.
And check, please. I'll take it to go.
We need to also talk about Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
Jerry, what's his name? Jerry in the movie.
Springer.
No, it's Seinfeld. Jerry.
What's the deal with all these Joker ripoffs?
What Jerry?
Chad.
God, what was his name? We forgot his name.
We just watched this movie.
Just watched it. Jerry La.
You can put it up in post and walk like we knew it.
I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
Jerry.
Jerry.
Let's take bets. What do you think it started with? It started with an L. I remember it started with an.
Jerry
Langford. Jerry Langford.
Langford. Okay, well you had the
Jerry
L.
Langford.
Okay. So Jerry Langford. So the beginning shows
there's some king of comedy like mega fan watching this like it's Langford just shaking their computer. It's Langford.
Yeah, they're probably gonna angrily comment before they even
timestamp it. At this time, I knew it was Jerry Langford before you.
And then you said it was Jerry Seinfeld, and I didn't appreciate the joke.
Jerry, what is it?
Jerry
Longford.
Jerry Longfoot.
Jerry Longfoot.
He
super subtle performance.
I loved it though, because I haven't seen a ton of his movies, but I grew up watching because we weren't allowed to watch the Eddie Murphy Nutty Professor because it was a lot more crude.
Yeah.
But the regular Nutty Professor was a lot more misogynistic. And so gotta keep your values.
Hey, Dutch.
Hey,
I'm the Nutty Professor.
I'm gonna blow this smoke in your face and you're gonna appreciate it later because I'm the sexy professor.
Yeah.
But
I'm Jerry Lewis.
Hey, play the one about smoking a cigar while you're losing your voice. Bro, those scenes were so great though, where he's sitting there, he's like, that old black magic that from the Nutty Professor movie.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen?
I've never
Okay,
seen
we should watch that one, or you should watch it.
Coming up next on the movie shelf, where we'll be watching the old Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor.
No, but what I'm trying to say, because I don't want to keep going off the rails with everything that we talk about. I grew up watching that movie, and just his performance of being able to so completely go from like literally Professor Frank from The Simpsons, just like mixing vials and talking to his bird who talks back to him the whole movie, and then just being somebody that everybody just steps and like, oh, you're an idiot, you are a menace.
Yeah.
And that whole thing. And then just takes a love potion, whatever, does the whole thing. But then he steps into another scene as like Buddy Love, which is the name of his alter ego in this one. He's got he is Buddy Love in the Eddie Murphy one too. Pretty sure.
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them.
So, but like the way that he's able to, because I mean, here's the thing: the old Nutty Professor. You had Eddie Murphy, and they had the fat suit and everything, and then he becomes regular Eddie Murphy, and he's like suave and sexy and everything. It's cool, but like it's definitely like the prosthetics are 90% of what makes them different.
Yeah,
they had no prosthetics. It was
just
the only thing that was a prosthetic that was used was the teeth, because he obviously had like really bad teeth. The professor did,
but it was mostly the performance.
It was the performance, and he literally was like, I mean, like for the 1960s, 70s movie that it was, he was like the most suave looking, like,
hey,
Bing Crosby sort of. I don't know. It's just, it was
Bing
crazy.
Crosby. Sorry, the computer screen turned off.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Hold on.
yeah.
Sorry, we're back.
Turn the computer screen back on. We're back. And we're back.
That's why I got the rolly chair.
Roly. Rover gang.
Yes, I loved his performance in this specific. My favorite scene with him is the scene where they show up to his house. Because the steaming, blood boiling anger that you can just see,
and
in
he's
his like
not saying hardly.
No, he doesn't
anything.
say like a word. It just in his face, his just like get out of my house, like that. through the teeth, just like
Jerry.
Oh, get out of my house.
Jerry. Mr. Pumpkin, I'd like to ask you politely to leave.
Can you please leave, Mr. Pumpkin? Yeah,
Hey, yo, Mr. Pumpkin, we should get out of here.
And then even down to when he's tied up and he's just done with all of it.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there silently.
And then
while
at the end, that shot of him seeing all the TVs with,
and
like,
then it's like this face of, I don't know how he captured so many emotions.
yeah,
But I know it was definitely the way that Martin Scorsese set up that shot to him walk. And he's like, because he rips out of the tape.
he's like taking tape off.
And he's just doing his like, I got to get back.
I gotta get to the studio before
he literally like foot stops and then turns around and then he goes.
He's like, ugh.
And I was not expecting the movie to end with him getting exactly what he wanted.
Yeah.
Because you're
then,
not used to it.
I don't know if there's a big debate on the ending of like, was it real or was it not? I
It's
am
gotta be
100% in the
100%
camp
real.
that it's real because it would happen. It would happen.
It would, because the idea, I think, of
Someone
like,
pull a stunt like that, it's gonna.
you see it all the time nowadays.
Think of anyone with like a huge following, any big whatever.
YouTube personality, Hollywood
Think
celebrity.
Of like I don't want to drop a bunch of names, but look at like a Logan Paul type.
Ooh, I was about to say Jake Paul. But
Same
like
thing.
a Logan Paul type who has a huge following and fan base after they were like reprimanded for some pretty rough stuff that they've done.
Yeah.
And have like still somewhat dabbled in some not great things.
But the audience eats it up. They're just they got
So
a
it's like
fork and a
it's
knife. and just-
realistic.
oh,
that
so
you
good.
don't have to detach yourself from reality to like
No.
think this ending is like
And if
a
this
possibility.
if this movie was like anything, I think it was like a predictive thing of like, this is how
it's a cautionary tale.
it's a cautionary tale, but it's also like, this is how popularity in the media sense is going to be for the rest of the world. And that's how it is.
It is.
The moment the internet started getting
if
huge,
someone
and the
if
moment
someone
that
tied up Jimmy Fallon tonight, they'd have their own.
they
show
would have their own show
within
within
a year.
week. Who
Yeah.
would be like, please, let's make an
Please,
original
can we please-
documentary.
Let's get a documentary.
And the
going.
thing that's
let's
so,
like
like-
make T-shirts with this guy's face on it.
The thing that's
Saw 'em on
so
Redbubble.
odd to me and like honestly kind of shady about it is stuff like that will happen. The person will go on to be like the most successful talk show host or whatever. Like, I'm not specifically like there's a talk show host that kidnapped somebody, but like the idea that you could see somebody do that, they'd get popular, they'd get famous, and then the company that like hired them would turn right around and be like, let's make a documentary about how seedy this person is.
Exactly.
And let's make money on another audience, because they're trying to play it from both sides.
Yeah, it's all The whole movie is just about profit.
It
It's
is
about capitalism and
capitalism.
and
It's a big
profit.
gain. It's a big gain.
Yeah. I really, really liked this movie.
It was definitely. I mean, it was way, way better. Because I mean, it's an older movie, and
I'll say that there are some older movies that you can put on, and they're good, but they may try to put me to sleep, or they'll.
There's
won't hold up as
lulls
well.
in the plot a bit.
There's-
There's like
in this
space
one?
filling stuff. No, the
No.
whole time.
The whole time I was like, "Where's this going?"
Yeah,
And that just plays into Scorsese. That's just Scorsese as a writer, as a director.
He drops like a glowing like if you were in a cave and he drops a red glow stick and then starts like moving his hand around and you're at the front of the cave, you're like, oh, so you start walking towards it, and he could illuminate the entire cave, right? This is gonna sound weird, but you could illuminate the entire cave and you're just like, what's going on? And you turn back around, something else is going on completely behind. Like he just is able to lead you in with the idea of like, I wonder where this is going,
And then unveil
flip
so
it,
much more.
And you're like, wait a minute, I
You're like,
wasn't even thinking
"Whoa."
about that. Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
whoa.
Whoa. What's going on over there? Scorsese's doing what now?
It's just because he's working with Nancy Pelosi now.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa.
Hey, well, let's
Wrap it up.
let's wrap it up. Let's give it a rating. How many
How many schmeckles?
Jerry Lewises out of 10? would you
Jerry
give?
Lewis is out of 10.
Yeah.
Gosh, man. I mean, I'd have to at least give this like an 8.5 Jerry Lewis's out of 10.
Good. I was gonna say 8.5 or 9 Jerry Lewises.
Let's go ahead and round it to 9.
9 Jerry Lewis's. 9
Jerry
out of
Lewis's
10.
out of 10.
Jerry
you
Lewis
can put
is.
the little Jerry Lewis face like right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it can be like the PNG of him from Nutty Professor on the cover where he's going like, ah. You'll have to find it. It's perfect.
I really
Or just the picture of him looking like
yeah, just the angry tied up Jerry Lewis.
angry tied up Jerry Lewis.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite.
It was an
Scorsese's.
experience.
I'll say it's one of my favorite Scorsese.
If I had the option to, this would definitely be a movie that I would be like,
I will watch this.
Send me back in time to go see it in the theater, or if it ever like, I will look for it if it ever has like a theater house,
art house
because we have
re-release
some
thing.
here in Oklahoma that do
Yeah.
that.
Dude, thanks for doxing me. I live in Oklahoma.
Oops. Hey, cut it out in post. They have that sort of stuff in wherever we live.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, it was a pleasure having you on the movie shelf.
Thanks, man.
Hope to have you again
Movie
when
shelf.
we watch Casino. That'll be the next one we watch.
Casino. No way.
It's a long one, so be prepped for it.
Hey, I've seen Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League in one sitting.
I also watched it in one sitting.
There's so many people who are like, yeah, I had to watch it.
I had to go to sleep.
You're weak. I saw it in one sitting. I didn't get up one time.
Didn't have to pee.
Didn't have to pee. I drank 12 sodas. I sat there. The whole time. I had 3 bags of popcorn. I kept the microwave running the whole time.
Thanks for joining me, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.